I grew up in the Midwest, which is predominantly Catholic, Lutheran. We were around a lot of religious people when I was growing up, but in my own home, religion really wasn't something that we discussed much. Church was one of those special occasion things: weddings, funerals, holidays. The way that I was kind of brought up, I was told that, if you wanted God in your life, that you didn't need to go to a church, that you could find Him right there in your home, that God was everywhere, that, the whole purpose of going to a church wasn't something that we needed to do. And having that kind of freedom, you kind of are easily persuaded to draw your own conclusions, and to be honest, my conclusions were that there wasn't any God. And that's the way that I was for a majority of my life. When I believe I was about 23 years old, I had a friend of mine that got into some drugs and alcohol, and she had a little girl, and her life was really, really going downhill. And I remember to myself thinking, how can I reach her? She's not listening to what I say, so maybe there's a different way that I can come at it. And I came up with the idea, I'll start studying up on the Bible and try to come at from that aspect, because I know that, she has a little bit of a religious background, and, maybe I can come that way and really get to her. I would probably say about 2 weeks after I started reading the Bible, I was at a doctor's office just talking to a lady. I was getting something with my ears checked, and she was doing a little test on me, asking me questions, and she stopped mid-sentence, put down her pen, looked at me, and she goes, "I don't know why, but God wants me to tell you that He loves you, and He wants you to know that." And, my faith was here, and that little nudge right there shot me skyrocketing. And I would say for probably the next 3 to 4 months, I was the spiritual warrior. I was reading my Bible, I was doing everything, praying every night, giving thanks and doing all these things that I guess, one should. I lost that spiritual high, I guess. When I started doing that, I stopped picking up the book and I stopped reading it. My prayers eventually got less and less. It wasn't every day. It started turning out to be like maybe once a week, then maybe once every 2 weeks, and then that Bible was pretty much packed under magazines and other stuff. And I realized that I lost something. I lost that connection, and I just went right back to the same road that I was, which was pretty much partying, women, and work, and pretty much in that order. But I felt it. I felt that love, and I felt that joy, and I felt it, and I knew I always wanted it again. But it was really hard for me to take that next step. I met my wife about 5 years ago now. The interesting thing about it is that we both kind of felt that was supposed to happen. That was our role. That was where we were supposed to meet, and that was supposed to happen. It was fast, and we both are very spiritual people, different levels of spirituality. My wife doesn't really believe in the whole side of religion. She believes in the spiritual being, not the formalities of things. And raising our kids, I really wanted a church to go to, and she was one of these people that said, "Hey, listen, I don't want to go to church. You can take the kids, and I'll have a nice Sunday breakfast ready for you guys when you get back." We had picked up some Subway. We were going to go to the park to have a little park dinner with the kids, and as we're walking into the park, some guy stops us out of the blue and says, "Hey, listen, we got some ice cream over here. You want to stop and have some ice cream with us?" And we started talking to the people, and particularly to Sam, and we're sitting there, and Sam was telling us a little bit about the church, and they gave us a little card or whatever, and as we were leaving, I looked at it, and the guy that we were talking to was actually the pastor, and I was like, whoa, he does not seem like any pastor that I have ever met. And to my surprise, my wife was actually like, "Hey, listen, maybe we should check it out." And I was like, wow, that's crazy. You actually are interested in checking this out. And she's, this guy seems really, really cool, really open-minded, something that I feel like I could maybe possibly investigate. We went to church and we walked through the doors, and it was an auditorium and or cafeteria, I don't know what it is, and it was really nice. I mean, it was like, wow, this is really nice. And they had popcorn out, and they had sodas and a little cafe area, and it was like, wow, this is not like any church that I've ever been to. We sat through his first service, and I tell you what, you know, it didn't matter whether you were a spiritual person or a religious person or you didn't believe in anything. The message that was actually provided to us that day kind of struck a chord. It was like, you know, you don't have to believe in this stuff to understand the value of it. You know, I mean, you know, they pretty much said the first day, you know, the Bible is probably the greatest book ever written. You know, it was written, you know, 2,000 years, 4,000 years before any of these self-help books. But if you just read the Bible, there's all the self-help right there. And it was like, wow, that's kind of true. I mean, the Bible's not going to go tell you to do something that you're not supposed to do. And so that really helped us be able to come the next time. You know, it was a very warm and welcoming time when we actually came to the door. Sam remembered us, and Ron and a couple other people that we met that day that we had ice cream. They all remembered who we were, and that was a really nice feeling. You know, it was nice to hey, so good to see you. You know, you finally came, and you know, we're so happy to have you. And it was like, oh, this is really nice. This is what I was looking for. We love it. You know, my wife loves it. My kids love it. We've really become a part of the church. The church has welcomed us with, you know, arms wide open. We found, you know, changes in ourselves coming to church. You know, like I said before, you know, we were kind of as far as that we could take ourselves as far as the spiritual journey, and we're able to go a little bit further. You know, we're at that point that we couldn't make it any further, and in particular me, you know, I needed church to help me to move forward. It's an amazing adventure. You know, each week it's something new. I enjoy it more and more. I look forward to it. You know, I find midweek that I'm yearning to get to church. So, yeah, that's pretty much my journey.